Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were definitely uninvited from the Met Gala.
It's got nothing to do with their legal war against Justin Baldoni.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are an absolute meltdown after Anna Wintour, the Met Gala queen herself, banned them from the event this year. It's the kind of public slap no A-lister recovers from, especially when Blake had the audacity to question Wintour's authority.
Their reputations are ruined.
Turns out, challenging fashion royalty comes with consequences, and Blake clearly overestimated her VIP pass.
Who is going to want to work with them, especially as more and more comes out, especially as discovery comes out and depositions? To me, their careers are over.
Believe me, this couple, once celebrated as Hollywood's golden couple, are now facing one of the coldest shoulders the industry has to offer. Over the past few months, things have taken a drastic turn for the worse. Insiders from major studios and brand partnerships have quietly confirmed what everyone's been suspecting. Blake and Ryan are rapidly losing gigs.
We're very used to seeing like a Blake, right? She's very unkind to reporters, and genuinely I think that there's just a lack of a better word there. She seems to hate the press junkets over the years. She barely seems to enjoy her fans. She kind of thinks that she's above her fans, thinks she's above the press, and is just always rude.
The roles, endorsements, and lucrative collaborations that once seemed endless have slowed down to a near halt. Brands are pulling back. Studios are thinking twice before attaching their names to projects involving them. And the same Hollywood circles that once couldn't get enough of them are now keeping their distance.
But please do not come. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. Ms. Wintour, I would ask that you not extend the invitation, but I think you probably know better.
Why? It's not just because of one lawsuit. It's not even just the Met Gala ban. It's a combination of everything piling up at once. And in an industry that thrives on image and public perception, no one wants to be caught in the blast zone.
We left because the vibes were not vibing. Like wasted hair, makeup, outfit to go to the city, drink a margarita in a mason jar, take a bucket of popcorn, take 2 bites, see Anna Wintour, see Justin Baldoni, and left to go back to Connecticut. Like talk about blue balls.
Hollywood hates controversy, but more importantly, it hates bad press. Blake and Ryan have become walking PR disasters, and everyone is aware of the risk. Studio executives know that public opinion has turned, and they don't want that negativity spilling over onto their films or products.
Even her best friends have not come to her defense. No one in Hollywood, all the people all the people that they've been around, no one has come to their defense.
What's even more revealing is the silence from their once powerful A-list friends. People like Taylor Swift and Gigi Hadid, who used to be photographed laughing and partying with Blake, have gone completely quiet.
Especially Gigi Hadid and Taylor Swift. We know Taylor Swift wants nothing to do with her anymore.
No statements, no supportive posts, no subtle shows of solidarity. Nothing. It's almost as if they've wiped their hands clean. Hollywood friendships are often built on mutual benefit, and when one side becomes toxic, the other side disappears. That's exactly what's happening here. No one wants to be associated with the mess that Blake and Ryan are stuck in.
Too long to stand there in stilettos, and so I see one of Blake's team members, and they're a little distant and a little like icy to me. Just there's something that I'm like, oh wow, okay.
But here's where things get even deeper. It's not just studios and celebs distancing themselves. The general public, the fans, have had enough too. And much of this resentment has been bubbling under the surface, just waiting for a moment to explode. One major issue that's come roaring back into the spotlight is Blake's wedding. For years, Blake and Ryan's wedding at a plantation went relatively unchecked by mainstream media.
And in other circumstances, this person is not this way, and it was slightly off-putting to Danielle and I. We both noted it. And then it was one of these theaters that has all these escalators in it. Okay, so we're like, what do we do? So we go to get margaritas, and that night I had a malfunction, my strap came off, and we went to drink margaritas. I think it was raining, and we were walking outside in the rain, and it was just a mess.
But with the current wave of accountability culture and heightened awareness, people aren't letting it slide anymore. The fact that they chose a plantation, with all its historical weight and trauma, as the backdrop for their so-called fairy tale wedding has left a sour taste. Fans who once adored them now view that choice as tone-deaf at best, outright offensive at worst. What's more, they've never properly addressed it. No apology, no meaningful acknowledgement. That silence is deafening.
And we come back to see the movie. I'm excited to see the movie. And because I love Blake Lively, I'm so excited. So we walk upstairs and we see Anna Wintour. She passes us and I'm like, oh my God, wow, we'll do that another time, but like, let's park that.
And the stories don't stop there. Multiple former co-workers and interns have started sharing their own unpleasant experiences, painting Blake in a far different light than the polished image she's maintained over the years. Reports of her being rude to interns, dismissive to the press, and generally entitled aren't isolated. These accounts have begun stacking up, and they're consistent enough to suggest there's more truth to them than people wanted to admit before.
So then we keep walking and this guy says to me, oh, hey, Bethany, you know Justin, he was on your podcast. And he's in this one like line and we say hello to each other. I didn't remember who he was. I don't know why, but we say hello to each other. He was very nice. I think he was wearing purple. And he's in this one theater. And then we think this, we saw him, so we're just going into the theater. Not usually, always, unless it's a weird different screenings. The premiere is in one giant theater and there might be like an overflow theater, okay?
The girl next door vibe she's cultivated for so long has completely cracked. What's left is an image of someone who's used power and privilege to bulldoze over others, both on set and off. From press junkets where she's visibly irritated to fashion events where insiders describe her as cold and unapproachable, it's all adding up. And fans notice. It's not just whispers in industry circles anymore. Regular people, fans who once cheered for her Met Gala looks, who lined up for her films, are saying they're done. And now, the headlines are everywhere.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were definitely uninvited from the Met Gala.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are officially out of the Met Gala 2025. What initially seemed like just another skipped year quickly unraveled into something far bigger and far uglier.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds will be a no-show at Met Gala. Popular couple, often a fixture at the event.
TMZ, US Weekly, Elle, all scrambling to spin the same narrative. Blake and Ryan are voluntarily passing on the event this year. But when you peel back the surface, the reality is entirely different.
So it says, Anna Wintour's Met Gala guest list just took a hit. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds won't be gracing the red carpet this year, TMZ has learned.
This wasn't a casual decision. It wasn't a scheduling conflict. It was, without a doubt, Anna Wintour's deliberate and brutal power play. And the reason? It's not gossip.
A source close to the couple tells TMZ Blake and Ryan are skipping the gala this year, but before you jump to conclusions, it's got nothing to do with their legal war against Justin Baldoni.
It's backed by leaked documents and insider confirmations. The smoking gun was a leaked internal email sent by Blake Lively herself, in which she reportedly accused Anna Wintour of favoritism towards Justin Baldoni.
Not TMZ still carrying water for these two.
That accusation didn't just cross a line, it obliterated it. In the fashion world, Anna Wintour's authority is absolute. You don't question it, you don't challenge it, and you certainly don't undermine her power in writing. The moment that email became public, Blake's fate was sealed.
But she and Ryan don't always show up, and they actually skipped last year too. Blake was very busy last year doing something else.
The fashion industry operates on an unspoken hierarchy, one built on relationships, loyalty, and respect. For years, Blake Lively had maintained her place at the top. She was Anna's favorite, a regular at the Met Gala since 2008, multiple Vogue covers, front row seats at the most exclusive fashion events. But one internal email turned that all to ash. Wintour reportedly viewed Blake's remarks not just as criticism, but as an open betrayal. And in an industry as calculated as fashion, betrayal is rarely forgiven.
But here, like he's in one theater, something's going on somewhere else. I saw Anna walk this way. So they take us and they put us all the way to the left in this theater where like nobody was in this theater. And it was just strange. It felt like everybody was separated. And I just called Danielle to be like, oh my God, like everybody was separated. I mean, now we're hearing about everybody being separated and the vibe was off.
Insiders close to Wintour have confirmed that this wasn't a casual, maybe next year situation. This was a hard no. Blake and Ryan were uninvited, plain and simple. Not overlooked, not quietly shuffled off the guest list, banned. Their names are no longer welcome on the red carpet at the event they once dominated.
And so what I didn't tell anybody, because I was like, we'll be canceled, was we left because the vibes were not vibing. Like wasted hair, makeup, outfit to go to the city, drink a margarita in a mason jar, take a bucket of popcorn, take 2 bites, see Anna Wintour.
It's no coincidence that the media machine around Blake and Ryan immediately kicked into overdrive. The same day the uninvitation news hit, Outlets like TMZ, Elle, US Weekly started parroting the same PR-friendly lines. They chose not to attend. They're busy. It's unrelated to ongoing legal matters. But the deeper you dig, the more obvious the lies become.
But she and Ryan don't always show up, and they've actually skipped last year too.
Let's rewind to last year, 2024 Met Gala. Once again, Blake and Ryan's absence raised eyebrows. But the cover story then? Blake was taking a break, supposedly staying home with family. Turns out, that couldn't have been further from the truth. Court filings and production logs from Sony Studios in Culver City, California, confirm exactly where Blake was during the 2024 Met Gala, editing her personal cut of It Ends With Us.
So what was Blake doing last year instead of being at the Met Gala? You guessed it. Too busy hijacking Justin Baldoni's film, because May 3rd to May 8th, we are confirmed she was definitely in the editing bay trying to give us her cut of It Ends With Us.
Between May 3rd and May 8th, 2024, Blake was locked in the editing bay, fighting for creative control over Justin Baldoni's film adaptation. The Met Gala happened on May 6th, 2024. So while publicists pushed the narrative that she was at home, the reality was she was in California, not New York, making demands and overriding the film's director. By her own admission in legal documents, she refused to hand over the edited cut until May 10th.
So tell me how she was gonna make the Met Gala from California, because it was being edited on Sony Studio lots in Culver City, California. Considering the Met Gala was on May 6, 2024, and the Met Gala is held in New York.
That timeline alone destroys the voluntarily skipping argument. She didn't skip the Met Gala because she felt like it. She skipped because she was embroiled in a behind-the-scenes power struggle. This isn't a one-off. There's a clear pattern of manipulative narrative control coming from their PR team.
As rich and as wealthy as Blake and Ryan were, she was not about to spend money on a private jet to leave LA and leave the editing bay to make the Met Gala when she really didn't have any more time to waste, because she had to turn this movie over to them as early as May 8th, and she still didn't do that and didn't turn it over till May 10th.
Go back through Blake's history at the Met Gala, and any year she didn't attend is accompanied by vague explanations.
There was no widely documented reason, but this was around the time she married Ryan Reynolds in September 2012. Wedding planning or personal commitments might have played a role. 2015, Blake gave birth to her first child, daughter James, in December 2014. So she was likely prioritizing motherhood, or probably felt like she was in shape enough to attend.
2012, no clear reason, chalked up to wedding planning. 2015 and 2019, pregnancy or new motherhood. 2020, family reasons. But there's a glaring lack of transparency, especially when recent revelations suggest the real reasons might be far more complicated.
So while TMZ will have you believing they skipped last year, so them skipping this year means nothing, Blake was too busy hijacking this man's movie. Maybe had she not done that and just went to the Met Gala like she was supposed to, she wouldn't be in this mess.
It's no longer just fans or tabloids speculating. Fact checkers and deep dive journalists have pieced together the discrepancies. Accounts like Grok AI, which scoured through Blake's attendance history, revealed the inconsistencies between her public statements and her actual activities. These aren't baseless accusations. They're backed by receipts, dates, studio records, and now legal documents.
But no, they're not passing on the Met Gala this year. They are not invited. Let's be for real.
And that's why the PR machine is struggling to hold up. You can't hide this level of mess forever. The press releases might have worked in the past, but today's media landscape is too sharp, too connected, too quick to pull the curtain back. Fans are dissecting every headline. Industry insiders know what's happening behind the scenes.
Now I want to show you this, because this is how hilarious it is. So in Elle magazine, it says here, of course, make it bigger, where they have these insiders saying Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are not planning to attend the 2025 Met Gala per a report shared by TMZ on Friday. A source told Us Weekly that the news is actually not so surprising.
Anna Wintour saw all of this unfold. And Wintour, known for her silence but absolute control, doesn't make public declarations. She doesn't need to. Her decision to ban Blake and Ryan from the Met Gala is louder than any press release. It's her way of sending a clear message. You don't challenge the hand that feeds you. You don't drag her name into your personal battles.
Saying Blake and Ryan haven't gone since 2022, where they were co-chairs, and they will not be in attendance this year. The couple served as co-hosts to the 2022 Met Gala alongside Regina King and Lin-Manuel Miranda, a year that celebrated, blah, blah, blah.
And make no mistake, this isn't about the lawsuit alone. It's about Blake's blatant attempt to wield power behind the scenes, then scramble to control the fallout. It's about years of carefully curated image building crashing down under the weight of leaked emails, financial overspending, and arrogance that's finally caught up to them. No media outlet, no carefully worded statement, no brand-friendly photo shoot can patch over the fact that Hollywood and fashion's gatekeepers are shutting the door. And the public sees it. They're watching the cracks widen in real time.
Because I have this. Of course, Grok has been incredible at answering so many questions, things that you just cannot find. If you type in this information, you just can't find it. If you look up.
The unraveling of Blake Lively's public image doesn't stop at the Met Gala ban or the leaked emails. It goes much deeper, straight into the heart of one of her most high-profile projects. It ends with Us. What was supposed to be a career-defining moment turned into a complete disaster, with Blake herself at the center of the sabotage. Legal documents from the lawsuit between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively outline exactly how the chaos unfolded.
She had, we don't know why she didn't attend. I'm sure if I dug through the receipts, we could figure out why. Now, 2023, Blake confirmed she wouldn't attend, stating she'd be watching from home instead. She had given birth to her fourth child with Ryan Reynolds earlier that year, exact date unconfirmed, but
according to the filings, Blake didn't just act in the film. She allegedly forced creative control over key aspects, overriding the director and production team. One of the most glaring examples is how she hijacked the wardrobe and script decisions. Instead of adhering to the original vision of the film, Blake insisted on reshaping her character, Lily Bloom, to fit her personal preferences.
It's because she had just had a baby or was pregnant, or it was the pandemic. Those are the reasons why. But they're trying to act like, oh, she just hasn't attended. Is she pregnant again? Is she about to give birth? Like what?
It didn't stop at minor tweaks. Blake reportedly sent hundreds of images to the costume department, demanding high-end designer pieces that fit her curated image, rather than the character's modest background. Emails dated April 25, 2023, from the line producer specifically mention how the wardrobe team had already blown through $615,000, far exceeding the allocated wardrobe budget of $185,000. The original plan was that after returns and adjustments, the budget would balance out. Instead, it spiraled completely out of control, over $600,000 spent, with more needed, and not even the rest of the cast's wardrobes handled yet.
She was too busy trying to take this movie, It Ends With Us, from Justin Baldoni, and was editing her cut that she forced on Sony, and she had no right to do.
Blake didn't just overstep creatively. She bulldozed the production financially, and the team had no choice but to comply. Sources linked to Sony revealed an even more shocking layer. It's alleged that Blake strong-armed Sony executives, leveraging her influence and threatening to raise sexual harassment allegations if they didn't grant her editorial control over the final cut of the movie. No HR complaint was ever filed, and Sony themselves confirmed that no formal harassment claims existed. It was, reportedly, a scare tactic, one that worked because the studio folded under the pressure.
But it is alleged that she strong-armed them because, and if they didn't allow her to do this, that she was going to allege the sexual harassment stuff.
For weeks, Blake stayed in the Sony editing bay in Culver City, California, demanding final approval over the cut. She refused to turn over her version of the film until May 10, 2024, despite contractual deadlines requiring her to do so earlier. The chaos behind the scenes bled into the film's timeline, delaying production, exhausting the team, and draining the budget, all while the media narrative carefully excluded these details.
Even though there was never an HR complaint about it, Sony has confirmed this. So, Blake and Ryan, you're not fooling anyone. We have clocked you, we have the receipts, we have the tea.
Now, pair that with the fashion world's reaction. Anna Wintour, known for her calculated moves, reportedly caught wind of all this. In an industry built on control, collaboration, and hierarchy, Blake's behavior, steamrolling over creative teams, weaponizing influence, and running the budget into the ground, was the exact type of chaos Wintour wouldn't tolerate. No way was Anna about to associate the prestige of the Met Gala with someone who couldn't keep it professional behind the scenes, let alone someone making headlines for power plays and lawsuits.
Blake and Ryan would definitely steal the spotlight. What? Just like they did at their latest public appearance on February's SNL 50.
And just when things couldn't get worse, Blake and Ryan decided to step into the spotlight again. But this time, it blew up in their faces. Their SNL 50 appearance in February 2025 should have been an easy win, a fun, lighthearted moment to remind the world of their charm.
Okay, so yeah, they would steal the spotlight because everyone will be talking about them and the case and what liars and manipulators they are. I mean, I want you guys to think about it. Even her best friends have not come to her defense.
But instead, it became a case study in what not to do when your public image is in flames. They walked in smiling, laughing, acting completely unbothered by the avalanche of controversy surrounding them. For anyone paying attention, it wasn't confidence, it was delusion. The audience's reaction spoke volumes.
It was heavily criticized by everyone. Even people in the audience were looking at them as though they were insane. So that tells you a lot.
Eyewitness accounts and online chatter after the episode made it clear. People were cold, confused, and flat out uncomfortable. Critics wasted no time calling it out. It looked like an attempt to brush everything under the rug, to pretend like the lawsuit, the Met Gala ban, and the Hollywood cold shoulder didn't exist. Fans too weren't impressed.
But the display also had critics bashing the moment. Of course, the married couple is currently entangled in a legal battle with Baldoni over the drama surrounding the movie It Ends With Us.
Social media threads exploded with comments accusing them of being tone-deaf, disconnected, and arrogant. The very charm and self-awareness that made Ryan Reynolds popular seemed hollow, forced. Blake's presence, meanwhile, only reminded people of everything happening off-screen. Rather than diffusing the situation, the SNL appearance added fuel to the fire. It solidified what many had already suspected. Blake and Ryan weren't acknowledging the damage.
See Justin Baldoni and left to go back to Connecticut, like talk about blue balls.
They were performing for the cameras, still trying to control the narrative, still clinging to their carefully crafted public personas while everything was crumbling beneath them. In the weeks following, headlines didn't focus on their jokes or any lighthearted moments from the show. Instead, all attention zeroed in on how out of touch they seemed. What should have been a safe PR move turned into yet another reminder of their fall from grace.
There she is alongside Anna Kendrick. And I should say, first and foremost, regarding Anna Kendrick, we already knew that she was somewhat upset leading up to this premiere for obvious reasons. I mean, you imagine you work your butt off, you're in this movie, you're fighting with Blake Lively about who should be more prominently featured on all of the materials and the advertisements.
Some celebrities, when faced with this kind of fallout, launch a public apology tour, appear on talk shows, issue carefully worded statements, try to smooth things over with the right people. But so far, Blake and Ryan have done none of that. No apologies, no acknowledgements, no attempts at reconciliation. The silence speaks volumes, and it's making the industry wonder, are they in denial? Or have they miscalculated how deep this cut actually is?
So I guess that's a thing, like where you're featured on the movie poster, and Blake Lively wants to be prominently featured, and then she gets herself into this huge situation worldwide.
Another option? They could go underground for a while. Lay low, rebrand, let the storm pass. Maybe in a few years, after enough time has gone by, they try a quiet comeback. Start small, attach themselves to indie projects, and gradually rebuild goodwill. But even that's a gamble. Hollywood has a long memory when it comes to betrayal. And with the receipts from the lawsuit, the Met Gala ban, the editing bay takeover, and public backlash all documented, forgetting won't come easy.
She is sort of despised alongside her husband. And now you've got to recognize that this movie's probably not going to do so well because people are just not going to watch a movie with Blake Lively in it. And the rumors were that she felt that Blake Lively didn't do anything to dispel that. She didn't come out and make a statement. She didn't come out, with her heart in her hand or say anything. She just kind of allowed this movie.
The alternative is bleaker, the blacklist effect. Once you're labeled as too difficult, too controversial, too much of a risk, the offers stop altogether. Studios won't want the baggage. Brands won't want the headlines. Events won't want the tension. And in an industry that survives on public favor, losing that can mean game over. Blake and Ryan built their empire on a carefully curated image. Relatable, charming, effortlessly perfect. But once that image cracks, it's hard to glue it back together. Fans who once bought into the fantasy now see the fractures. Industry peers who once applauded from the sidelines are watching quietly, calculating the damage to their own brands if they're seen standing too close.
To be like an innocent bystander to everything that went on with It Ends With Us. It Ends With Us, pardon. So leading up to this red carpet, all eyes were kind of on Blake. People were wondering if she was going to bring Ryan. I said, definitely not. That's not going to happen. Obviously, she's adjusting and she's realizing what a bad decision SNL was. People don't like Ryan Reynolds, especially.
What's happening now is bigger than just one couple. It raises the broader question about celebrity culture as a whole. Can public figures survive when their carefully controlled image collapses? Or is the system designed to spit them out the second they step out of line? For Blake and Ryan, the clock's ticking. Every move from here on is under a microscope. Every silence, every appearance, every project choice will be dissected. Because once you challenge the power structure in Hollywood and lose, the only thing left to decide is whether you're forgotten, or whether you find a way to rewrite your story before the final chapter is closed for good. Do you think Blake will give a public apology to save face or let it all burn? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe.